Hello, back to the channel, and today we'll be doing the Week 5 recap. We're really coming through these games pretty quickly. Just quickly going through some of the games. We'll start on the Friday games. We'll shout out Jacksonville State, big comeback, overtime win over Sam Houston. Utah, Oregon State. Oregon State with a statement victory over Utah, really putting themselves at the top end of the Pac-12 with a big win over Utah, who's pretty much run the conference for the last 2 to 3 years now. Really good stuff there. Louisville with a 13-10 slugfest comeback victory over NC State. Louisville moves to 5-0, and they will be featured in the BS poll. Pretty high, actually. They're moving up again. BYU outlasts Cincinnati 35-27 in a pretty fun game late at night. And then we move to Saturday noon games. I'm trying to even think when these games were, but we're just going to pretty much go down the list. It is what it is. However the order is, it's going to go. Michigan, Nebraska. Michigan came out and did their thing. Absolutely obliterated Nebraska. People have been trying to hate on Michigan for a long time. This season they've played nobody. They haven't looked good. They've done this, done that. A lot of haters were very mad this weekend. I mean, they got absolutely smoked. Just want to say right now, this team is starting to roll. Don't get in front of this team right now because it's a rolling ball of chainsaws. They're hyped up. That one hit they had in the play where J.J. McCarthy, they hit him. I'm trying to think about it. It was a kickoff after the game. It was 38-0 at this point. And some guy on the kicking coverage team laid someone out. J.J. went crazy. The whole bench went crazy. This team loves each other, and they're getting ready to roll. Other game, the game I was at in attendance for South Carolina, Tennessee. Spencer Rattler, man. You can't be out here telling other teams that it's their Super Bowl, and then you play like that. And then you double down after the game. I mean, it was really tough. Tennessee's running the ball really well. Joe Milton still is having major issues throwing the ball. Overthrow Joe was what they needed. He underthrew it a few times and resulted in 2 picks. South Carolina's got some pieces, but they got some work to do. Beamer, that interview after the game. Oh boy. Georgia, Auburn. Georgia outlasts Auburn. It was kind of a slugfest. Peyton Thorne had 92 yards in the ground, which is insane. So with sacks, he's probably 100 yards. It was tough to watch most of this game. I ended up watching the highlights afterwards, but Brock Bowers really did his thing, showed up, and when he needed him most. So shout out him for that. Kansas versus Texas. Big win for Texas. Granted, they were playing the backup quarterback, but their defense still showed up. We had the under in this game, which hit no problem. We had a touchdown and I think 8 or 9 points under there, which is no problem. Penn State Northwestern. This game was very interesting early. It was 10-10 at the half. Northwestern was winning 3-0 and then 10-3. But Penn State really turned it on at the end. Still weird games. I mean, Singleton's not doing all that right now. Drew Aller, only 200 yards, not even 200 yards passing, 1 touchdown. We might have to have a discussion on Penn State going forward. Washington continues to have good offense. Their defense was a nightmare. Michael Penix, 363 yards, no touchdowns, though. We kind of decided to run the ball instead with Mr. Johnson coming in, Dylan Johnson, that is. And, 31-24, backdoor cover for Arizona, which was tough for all the people out there that took Washington. But we had the over and didn't get there, so darn. USC, Colorado. Now, I think I pretty much did this game perfectly right. I said it's going to be a tough cover, but it's eventually going to be easy and they'll have a chance to win. Now, they didn't have a direct chance to win, but onside kicking right at the end of the game, and it was a 1-score game, I think that kind of counts. Oregon continues to handle business and go crazy. Obviously, they went down 3-0 against Stanford. Everyone freaked out. They're like, oh, my God, it's always Stanford for Oregon. Not this team. Bo Nix is him, 290 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bucky Irving, touchdown. Look, Troy Franklin, by the way, 2 touchdowns again. Blitnikoff winner. We need to have a conversation with the Pac-12 because obviously I'm not worried about the best conference sort of thing that everyone's been talking about. I think Oregon's the best team in the conference. They have a defense, and Washington, USC really don't. Notre Dame beats Duke in a game of people I don't really care about, just being honest. Sam Hartman had a pretty clutch performance at the end, but Notre Dame's not good, so make of that what you will. Alabama, and a kind of a snooze fest, takes care of business against Mississippi State. Milroe barely even threw the ball, and they killed him. So that was a fun game. Iowa State was scoring at will on Oklahoma in the first half, and then they tightened up major, and Oklahoma kind of put the beat down on them. We have the Red River rivalry this week, and I think it's going to be one of the best ones you've ever seen. I mean, it's setting up for an all-time game. Texas is probably going to be favored for the first time in a long time, especially over a field goal. I'm trying to think the last time that's happened. Probably maybe Sam Ehlinger, but it wouldn't have been a ton. I don't know. Kentucky beats Florida quite convincingly. Game of the week has to go to Ray Davis, 26 carries for 280 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's insane. I mean, this guy was all over the place, and they had no answer for him up front. And we've got Florida fans in full fallout talking about culture problems, things like that. Whew, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's tough scenes out there. And then finally, another one of the last few games here. Our guy Lane, he finally got the job done. Beats LSU 55-49. I had a pretty funny tweet out there. LSU lost 2 games in September. You hate to see it. They're eliminated from playoff contention in September. Couldn't have happened to a better guy with Brian Kelly. Maybe watch out for some high gusting wins. Missouri beats Vanderbilt comfortably 38-21. Lynn Burden, it was back. Luther Burden, the third back. He had 11 catches, 2 touchdowns, and Brady Cook is playing very well right now. I think Mizzou is a very slept-on team. Just putting that out there. So slept on that I think I got him a little bit higher than most people do. Nevada gets trounced by Fresno State. Fresno State's going crazy. Nevada's, oh boy, might go 0-12 this year. Texas A&M beats Arkansas. No Wigman. I think it's Wigman. No problem. Max Johnson comes in and then gets the dub for them. Big game coming up this weekend, Texas A&M, Alabama. Big game. Minnesota kind of was struggling with UL Lafayette. They got the job done. Clemson tops Syracuse. Quickly just going through here. Central Michigan wins, fire up chips. And we'll talk about the Big Ten games more on the podcast this week. But Michigan State, Iowa. Yikes. We'll let my guy Zach talk about that on Wednesday. But that's pretty much what I have for now. Looking at the rankings now. Now we got our rankings here. 25 A&M. I want a ranked matchup against Alabama. I think it could be a really good game. Liberty moves up 1 spot. They didn't play, but they moved up. It's just how it works. They're going to be buzzing. I think that they could find themselves very, very, very high ranked at the end of the year, and Evans will be very confused. But again, he's my fantasy quarterback, and they're undefeated against the spread and straight up, so that's huge. Tennessee moves up with a pretty good win against South Carolina. Move in. Basically, everyone else just fell out in front of them. Iowa moves up. I think that Iowa could go 11-1. I'm dead serious. Utah moves down. No quarterback, but you still lost. Oregon State slides up a little bit. Mizzou moves up big time. Louisville as well. I like those guys, both undefeated. Kentucky with a huge jump. They're 5-0. I want to see what they do against Georgia. I don't think it'll be much, but I think this is their 1 week in the poll. Maybe they'll sneak down to 25. Who knows? Ole Miss, big shoot up. Listen, I love Ole Miss, and huge win against LSU. And with every other team in the West pretty much falling in front of them, the 3-team race, you got Alabama, Ole Miss, and A&M. So, yeah. Miami moves up. Some ACC representation with them and UNC. Wazoo, another win. They're doing their thing out there. I don't even remember who they played. Were they ranked? They might have had a bye week, honestly. I think they had a bye week. I'm just trying to remember. But yeah, Alabama wins. They move up. USC slides it down because they need OU to move up. Florida State kind of moves down. I mean, LSU losses. The win is worse. Ohio State stays pretty much the same, I think. Oregon slides up a little bit, and the Oregon's in our playoff. They flipped. FSU goes down a lot in my books because of the LSU win. That's pretty much their whole resume, and they should have lost to Clemson in my book, right there. They have a loss in my book. I know it doesn't show it, but talking about the games, they have a loss. So we can just do the playoff now. We got it right here. Georgia and Penn State still. Michigan and Washington still, with Texas on the outside and Oregon number 6. I'll tell you right now, if Washington keeps playing with this bad defense, I know they got a test, I believe, this week. I think they actually might be in a bye too. Let me see if I have next week's schedule. I can quickly look at the games going forward, because I can tell you right now, that Red River shootout, man, whoever wins that is probably going to be in my playoff. Not probably, will 100% be in my playoff. Washington this week, they play the bye. Yep. So they have a bye. we'll see how Arizona and USC do. Listen, if USC has like 1 or 2 good defensive performances in a row, I'm going to start to take them because that offense is ridiculous. So, but yeah, that's all I have for now. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. And yeah, thanks for all the love the past weekend. Not as many subs as I thought, but I was getting a little cocky out there. But we throw out some pretty sick hype videos. Let me know if there's any hype videos you want. Seriously, I have no problem doing them. They're very fun for me to make. And I like interacting with other fan bases and expanding my audience. So like, sub, comment, and send a few friends. How about that? So thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.